Now, usually I would do a sports topic, but right now I'm going to do a rant. It's going to be real quick. Probably won't take no more than 30 seconds. This is to my Oakland Raiders. If you dare trade Nnamdi Asomugha to the Jets, I will literally kick your ass. Plain and simple. He is the best player on the team. You do not trade the best player on the team. Do not do it. Plain and simple. Thank you.
Wow.
That had so much passion in it.
I've never seen Chris so passionate, man, when it came to sports. I mean, well, great, I got to give it to you. I mean, also wanted the Jets wouldn't make no sense for the Raiders. But you got to realize the Raiders do suck. And if they're going to suck, they got to suck legitimately with no good players. So, I mean, it's tough to be the best player on the worst team. So I got to tell you what. You know, you got to go ahead. I mean, I'd rather Asomugha stay with the Raiders. And hopefully this year they can get somebody in the draft that can catapult them at least from 5 wins to about 7 wins. That'd be great. I'd love to see that happen for the Raiders right now.
It will.
And like Chris said yesterday, with no LT for San Diego, that's 2 extra wins for some other teams. Maybe the Raiders will step up and do that.
But then again, LT could be going to the Broncos as one of his suitors. But
I don't
that's
think
just
so.
one other
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he'll go to a division.
LT is too
Houston.
classy of a guy to go to a division
from
rival.
Houston Texans.
He's too classy. I can see him going to the Texans.
Houston Texans. That's where he's going.
Yeah, that's the only place. Can't go to
He ain't welcome in the Colts Stadium, so don't come asking.
He don't want that. Go ahead, though.
All right, now I'm gonna shift the huge shift here from pro sports to mainly UIL sports. You mean like high school, junior high sports. In high school and junior high, they have the no pass, no play rule, where if you don't pass your classes, you can't play in athletics. Great rule. What I wanted to talk about today is the fact that not only can you not pass a class, you don't play, but it's an honors class. A pre-AP class, if you fail it, it doesn't count. I don't like that kind of rule because you're saying basically just because you're in the the top tier, the smart classes, if you may get a 62 or a 59 in those, but it's okay because you can still play. I don't like that mainly because with those kids they aren't working, and if you get a 40 in a pre-AP class and you're still playing basketball. That's not fair to kids who go to a regular class, have to work their butts off to get a 70 just so they can play. That is a damn shame. And I don't like it. I really don't like it. I mean, as a coach myself, I really frown upon that. So I did tell my basketball team when I was coaching basketball, it's a 70 or better no matter what. Clearly, we didn't have any report cards when I was coaching the basketball team, but it's okay. They need to understand I do not accept you failing classes, and I don't think the UIL people should accept it as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, especially I mean they say if you're in the pre-AP class and you get a 60, that's just like a 70.
Yeah.
But you don't see that on the report card. I mean, it's good to see. It's good to see that you actually got a 70 or an 80, not just a 60, just so you can play in the season. So I mean, the no class, no play rule. I mean, that's a great rule. I mean, they don't need to change it. But like when I was back in high school, our coaches implemented the no class, no play, no practice. I mean, because if you can't pass, you're not going to play. Then why should you practice? Because you're not helping the team out. So I mean, that's one thing just for kids to keep in mind. Just like they stay on the grind, they don't have to worry about pulling 60s just so they can play and blocking others from getting the opportunity to play.
Well, your coach is much friendlier than mine because
Yeah.
if you failed, you still gonna practice.
Yeah,
You gonna run if you especially because and during you have progress reports to where if you get your grade back up,
you
you
still
get to
play.
get back on the team, and then if they kick you off the team because you failed and then you ain't been practicing, you really not gonna play anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with what you're saying, but in high school I was in AP classes and you know, that was one class to where I made that minimum, but I was still able to play. I didn't fail it, but I made that minimum to where I could still be able to play.
Yeah.
I thank the system for that. But I mean, nowadays, I can understand, whether it's AP class or not, regular class or remedial. I mean, you gotta pass your class no matter what, and it looks even better for a student athlete to pass an AP course.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah, so they don't look at you as an athlete, just
pass your course. Pass your courses, get scholarships, do something, because you might not go for hooping.
Yeah, definitely. The worst thing about that whole thing is that, if you were an athlete and you're taking AP classes, you could use that as like as a buffer to just help push you along, You can just ride that AP train all the way to graduation. And, athletes shouldn't do that, They should not use that as an excuse, okay, I can take AP classes now, so I don't have to worry about failing because I would still be bumped up and I'll still be able to play. No, we don't do that. And like you said earlier, Chris, my coach is huge. Pass or play, and if you pass, you play. If you don't, you'll be running miles until you pass. Just plain and simple.
Hell, if you can't pass a pre-AP class,
Every day, practice every day.
Yeah.
Get in the regular class if you can't pass the pre-AP. Hell, you doing that for it anyway.
Like y'all, my coach was very rough on us. I mean, if I didn't play football for my sophomore year until I graduated. I didn't play, but when I did play my freshman year, the head coach came out and said, "Look, you don't pass. You're now on the third string. You practice with the third string, and you ran." You ran extra after practice was over every day. Because when you're not playing, you can't be on the first team. You can't be part of the starters because you ain't playing with the starters. So you still practice. You're part of the third string, but you also did running all the time. So you may have been, an all-district quarterback, but you will be, if you don't pass, you're the third. The district, all-district team quarterback on the third string. That's how it was for us. In basketball, you still got to practice, but if you're on varsity, you practice with the JV.
Hey, they did it like that in football.
Yeah,
Did it?
that's right. In track, if you didn't pass, you ran with the long distance. So I loved all those fat football players that didn't fail, that tried to come run in track, like, I run 100 and stuff. Come out there trying to run a mile, 2 miles, sometimes 5 miles. That was fun for me. Because it gave me somebody to make fun of.
Y'all school better than mine. I mean, if you fail, you might not practice with the starters, but you still gonna practice with the top competition because that's what they expect you to be at when you come back. So
When I mean by third string, I'm talking about scout team.
See,
that's what I'm talking about.
School wasn't that good. Our school wasn't that good to have a scout team. Our second string was our scout team. As far as basketball, when it came to basketball, basketball, our school took it serious. So on varsity, it was nothing but 10 people.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll bring somebody up from JV to practice with the varsity, but that other person that failed to stay with them. But once that person came back, that person went straight back down to JV.
Oh, we didn't bring anybody up.
Yeah, but what happened?
We never brought anybody up. We always, we had 10 players on our varsity basketball team. You failed, we had 9. So you 2 failed, we just had 8.
Hey,
you brought people up to practice with us. But our JV and varsity practiced at the same time anyways.
Yeah,
but we didn't have them play games with us. They were just part of that, the part of the practice squad, and then they would go back down. We didn't do that. We didn't like it. Yeah. So they stayed with the JV for game time, but on practice they probably practiced with us to get better. And it was those top JV players that have potential to play varsity. So I mean, it wasn't like we were bringing some some low life down on JV up to varsity to practice with.
Yeah.
It was the guys that we knew could play varsity basketball, but at the same time wasn't ready for varsity basketball.
That's how it is in the country.
Especially like when the first report cards come out, you be like, "Ooh, man, the team sure looks small this year." It's like, somebody didn't pass.
Embarrassing is trying to do the run around the court, before the game start with 7 people.
Ooh,
that's embarrassing, man. That is embarrassing.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah,
that's your top 7.
Up next, more stories. You're on the range. Stay tuned.